Welcome back to The Goodness Habit, where joy is a muscle and we're learning how to flex it. I'm your host, Hanna, and today we're talking about doom scrolling. It's 10 p.m., kids are finally asleep. You pick up your phone just to, unwind because you haven't had a moment to yourself all day. And 2 hours later, you're still wide awake, and suddenly you're 47 videos deep into world disasters, political chaos, someone's cousin's neighbor's conspiracy theory about who knows what. I mean, it's a dumpster fire out there, and our brain loves it. She has a bias towards the negative. That's the negativity bias I've mentioned in past episodes. Just think about news articles. When a celebrity passes away, usually the headline is, Catherine O'Hara dead at 71. Or sometimes it's just Catherine O'Hara dead. Good gosh, that was morbid. Ugh, I'm sorry. But you know what I mean, right? Our brains gravitate towards those kinds of shocking headlines. And every time our brains pause and register that moment, we're carving that into our neural pathways. And because of that bias, it's so much easier to register the bad moments more so than the good ones, which is why this podcast exists, because it is possible to rewire your brain towards the positive, which means you're going to be less affected by the negative things happening around you, which means less stress, less anxiety, less depression, more joy, more peace, more calm. And who doesn't need more of that in their motherhood? So today I'm going to talk about what doom scrolling actually does to our brain and how to still stay informed about what's going on, because this is not about ignoring the world around you. We still want to be informed, but we don't want to fry our brain with all of the negativity that's going to make us feel worse. And I'll share a couple tips on how I'm enjoying social media without feeling like I'm stepping into a dumpster fire. Okay, so here's what's happening when you're doom scrolling. When you doom scroll, your brain is activating that amygdala, it's your threat detector. You're taking in information that is stressful and is probably activating some kind of negative emotion in you. And because of that, you're strengthening those negative neural pathways, which is that negativity bias that's kind of your default setting, true for all humans, not just moms and not just you. And those pathways are now convincing you that the world is ending, everyone is bad, even if you're just sitting on your couch eating goldfish crackers. It's like feeding your brain a steady diet of everything is terrible and then wondering why you feel terrible. But here's the thing, your brain learns through repetition. The more negative content you consume, the deeper those grooves get. And we as moms especially do not need that. But you also don't want to be uninformed about what's going on around you, locally, even globally. So here's my tip on how to still stay informed while protecting your joy. Choose your news sources intentionally. Do not use social media to get your news. I use a publication called The Pour Over. They email you every day with the top news headlines and major events in an unbiased manner. And they also leave you with a faith-based eternal perspective so that if you read that unbiased piece of news and are still getting really stressed out and worked up about it, they ground you with an eternal perspective and biblical verses to remind you that, hey, you know what? All this crap is going on, but God is still in control. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll add a link to the pour over in my show notes. Number 2, set a news window. Give yourself a specific time of day to check the news. Could be the morning while you're drinking your coffee, could be the afternoon. I would not recommend right before bed because that's when minds especially like to wander. But find that time and stick with it. And it may not be the first time. Like you may try the morning and you're like, this is stressing me out. All right, well then try during lunchtime. And third, be careful of the comment section. I mean, let's be realistic. We're not going to avoid it. That's the best part of the article usually. But be vigilant about protecting your mind and ask yourself, is this useful or is this stressing me out more? Now, let's talk about social media, how to enjoy it without falling into that doom rabbit hole spiral. Kind of like the news, but it's almost like you're stepping into a personal minefield. So here's tip number 1, curate your feed. And what I mean by that is unfollow or mute the accounts that stress you out, people who rant nonstop, and pages that thrive on outrage. I've had to mute people before, people who are quite kind and have offered valuable perspectives on different issues in the past. But sometimes I just need a mental break, especially when I can feel myself getting overwhelmed just by reading their posts. So I mute them for 30 days. And my second tip is to be intentional about what you search for within these social media platforms. All of them thrive on algorithms, which really means the more you watch something, the more of that you're going to get. So if you're looking for food videos, or crafting, or parenting tips, Bible scriptures, you're going to get more of that. If you want to be more informed about what's going on in Minneapolis, immigration, or other extremely charged topics at the moment, don't search for it in your social media feed. Not to say that searching in Google is going to be a failsafe. I mean, data sharing across platforms does happen, but your feed won't be as intense as if you had done it directly within the social media app. So just to recap, doom scrolling, it doesn't make you more informed, it just makes you more overwhelmed. But with a few small shifts, you can stay aware of the world, you can enjoy social media, and you can protect your peace. Your brain, it's always changing, so let's help it change in a direction that feels lighter, calmer, more hopeful, and definitely more joyful. Thanks for listening today, my friend. If this episode helped you, I'd love to stay connected. I send short encouragement by email, things like brain-based tools, faith, encouragement, and practical ways to retrain your mind in real life. Join through the link in the show notes.